So I'm working to transform this area here into a little bit of a fruit forest. I actually put trees here and stuff here. I don't have any permission to do this, I'm just doing it. So one thing I needed was ground cover, and guess what? Someone dumped the ground cover. They must have, heard my distributive unconscious cry for ground cover, because there it is. Look at it. Look at all that ground cover. So now I'm just going to move it to here. So here it is. This is what I've done with ground cover. This ground cover was not paid for. It was dumped by a farmer that he was going to burn, and I just redistributed it using it as ground cover. Some other things I did, any place where there was a growth that I didn't really like, there's a kind of weed, it's a vine, it's really annoying. It's this stuff right here. It just has, it's just annoying. It gets everywhere. It's kind of like kudzu, and you can see it here. And what I did was, I covered it. This can be covered a little bit more. Cover, stomp down, and let nature do its work, because it has no sun and it's moist and it's damp and fungus. And you can see what I did was I took some of this heavier compost and stuff. You see it brown down there, and I just started laying it. I just moved it through it from there to there and just kind of covered what I call these hot spots. Get these under control. And even though I'm not really focused on this bank yet, I'm going to in the future. But there's the little farmer that brought me the ground cover. So I'm gonna go tell him I'm gonna put trees here. That's his stuff that he dumped down there. This is actually an edible plant that when I was weed whacking, I saw growing. So I weed whacked around it, and now I'm giving it this whole area to expand and drop its seeds. And we can just grab these leaves, put them in salad. It's kind of a, it's like a lettuce, but it's a kind of a vine lettuce. I don't know what it is. Maybe my friends could tell me. What I want to do is encourage people to take public land like this that is not being used, that we're paying money for people to maintain, and turn it into community properties that will provide food for future generations. Apples, pears, there's lots of fruits that grow perfectly fine in Japan. Raspberries, blackberries, all these different things that we as a community can transform and do something about. Now, I don't, like I said earlier, I have no permission to do this, I'm just doing it. And if enough of us just start doing it and following my lead, and if you see land that's not being used, that could be turned into food producing land, just do it. I don't know what you call that. Being an anarchist, being a Save Our Planet anarchist. These are all found-ups. And this project is funded by my patrons right now on foundups.com. Without their support, I couldn't buy my weed whacker, I couldn't buy my gas, I couldn't basically buy the tools, buy the seeds, take away from doing silly jobs like working in an office or teaching English, and do this myself. And that takes money, it takes sacrifice, it takes commitment. I don't make a lot of money. Pretty much what I make on foundups.com is what supports a family of three. $600 a month right now is supporting a family of three. It's not a lot. And obviously my wife is working too, so a lot of work is being done by her in supporting the family. So I hope that in a year or so, I'll be making $3,000 a month off the capital campaign that I can use to fund my startups, I can use to launch new foundups, that I can use to basically spend 100% of my time saving our planet. And here's what's really interesting is what I'm trying to do is incentivize others to do the same thing. What I'm committed to doing is taking 80% of the funds that are contributed to foundups.com and sharing it with others doing foundups. Right now I have 2 others doing foundups. And that sharing is going to be scaled to 1,000. So when we get to 1,000 patrons, 80% will be shared. On the way up to then, it's going to be like 10% of 80%, 20% of 80%, 30% of 80%. So by you becoming a patron, you're helping me encourage others to launch foundups. Maybe you don't have the time, but you surely have the time to invest $1, as little as $1 a month in supporting a vision to transform, land. And look at all this land. Look at all of this land over here and over there that I hope to transform. 10 years from now, I hope to be able to show this video and say, look, this is the crazy guy who had this vision, and I was one of the guys who put $1 in to make it happen. Because we're only going to save this planet by working together. That's a simple fact. We're only going to clean up our rivers by working together. And the only way we're going to do that is by ushering in something called the empathic civilization. And I'm looking for those that are already empathic to join me in helping to save our planet together by launching incentivized foundups that others will join and launch. Because, let me explain how it works. As these other people launch foundups and their funds increase, and they basically show by doing, and other people follow them and everything else, then they're going to do the same thing. They're going to share 80% on a scale of their crowdfunding campaign with others doing foundups. Now, we're testing this right now on Patreon, and I have developers and coders, and we're going to launch basically our own model, so it's autonomous. So you don't have to share automatically. If people are doing foundups, they're going to get cash for doing them. And there's going to be a check system where people can call people out and say, you know what, this guy's not doing foundups, and it could freeze the funds or not give them access and stuff like that. So we can actually have a self-policing, kind of like what Wikipedia does with spam and other things, to ensure that people are not just abusing the system and getting, you know, free money and not doing anything. This is to encourage people who already are doing permaculture, who already have organic farms, who are already doing things, who are interested in renewable energy solutions and all these things, to unite under the foundup, and together, united, save the planet. It's that simple. Thanks. My name is Michael Trout. Please click on this link that I have up here that says, you know, support this project, and consider becoming a stakeholder of Foundups Corp for as little as $1 a month. Thanks.